Hello. I thought I would record another puzzle video. About 2 weeks ago, I had a light week at work, and I do puzzles all the time anyway, so I made a bunch of recordings. And it's been a heavy time at work since, but I'm a little bit sick tonight, and I thought I would take it easy and do a puzzle and record it. When I was making those videos, somebody commented and recommended a puzzle called Dutch Flatmates 3, and this is not that one. This is Dutch Flatmates 2. What had happened was I went to record Dutch Flatmates 3, and there were some technical difficulties during the recording, and I didn't want to make a second recording of a puzzle that I had already done. So I thought I would try out Dutch Flatmates 2. It's a little sibling puzzle. It's by Flinty. I've done at least one of Flinty's puzzles before, and this one looks like it has 274 solvers in the last 141 and a half days. I have looked up the puzzle, so I guess it's just underplayed. I looked up the difficulty beforehand, and supposedly this is a 1-star difficulty puzzle, so it seems like a good activity for a sick day. I can't imagine it's going to be too strenuous. But with that, I will read the rules. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. Fives live in Dutch flats. All fives in the grid must strictly have either a 1 directly above it or a 9 directly below it. It may have both, but it doesn't need both. So maybe I'll read all the rules, and then I'll explain what that means. Then there are thermometers in the puzzle, so numbers on a thermometer strictly increase as they move away from the bulb. So I think I may have even done another thermometer video, but what this is going to mean with strictly increasing, at least, is that we would need... Well, I guess, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The numbers just need to increase as they go away from the bulb, just like a real mercury thermometer, if anyone uses something that isn't a digital thermometer anymore. The second rule has to do with these Dutch flats. I found this rule, reading it, it can be a bit of a mouthful. So a 5 can have... if you have a 5, then you either need to have a 9 below the 5 or a 1 above the 5. It says strictly have either or capitalized, but the puzzle seems to allow both in this case. So we can have a 5 with a 1 and a 9. But great. With that, the clock is running. I am 1 minute and 52 seconds in. I might as well start the puzzle. And I have no idea where to start. So, where do I want to start? Where do I want to start? I have no idea. I have one idea. So it has to do with these thermometers. So with the thermometers, you're a bit restricted on where you can put the high and low numbers. So for example, it wouldn't be possible to put a 1 anywhere, or a 2 there. It wouldn't be possible to put low numbers or like a 1 at this position in the thermometer because the position at the bulb needs to be less than 1. So we're not allowed to have a 1 there. You could do the same thing with high numbers. I wouldn't be able to put a 9 here, for example. So now looking in this row, I need to put a 9. Was that my idea? No, my idea was to use the 9 in these two regions. So a 9 needs to go... was that my idea too? Oh, that's not going to be helpful, I don't think. Let's see. I need a 9 in this row. We can apply the logic that way. You can't have a 9 in the middle of the thermometer, which means that the 9 in this row needs to appear in one of these 3 cells. I don't know if that's super helpful. I could continue to play with the 9s and the 1s. We don't have any starting numbers, so I feel like that's really got to be the way in. Figure out positions for 9s and 1s. Yes, so maybe what I should have done was look at these two regions in 1s. That would have been a smarter move. So I need to put a 1 in this region someplace. And that 1 is not allowed to go on any of the latter parts of the thermometer. So a 1 either needs to go here or it needs to go here. We can have a 1 at the bulb of the thermometer, but not along it. And the same is true at this region. So I'm not allowed to put a 1 on this sort of like end of the thermometer. That means that a 1 either needs to go here, it actually can't go here, or down here. And what that means is that we have filled up these two rows. I may delete those numbers, I'm not sure. More just for visual, but we've filled up these two rows with 1s. I need to put a 1 in this row, and it's going to need to go somewhere here. It can't go here because of it can't go here because of the bulb. This is a higher number on the thermometer, so there must be a 1 either here or there. Yes. I do want to figure out where the high numbers need to go, though. Anyway, we know that a 1 needs to go somewhere here. I could also think about the fact that this is kind of a long thermometer and they need to increase, right? So, you know, the smallest number that could go on this bulb is 2. That could create a situation where you have a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6. I guess that sort of means that we're limited, so I could have this be a 3, or a 4, or a 5. That would mean this is a 3, 4, 5, or 6. 4, 5, 6, or 7. A 5, 6, 7, or 8, and then a 6, 7, 8, and 9. So what would happen if this cell was a 6 would be, then maybe this could be a 7, 8, 9, but the 9 would end up in the middle of the thermometer. We'd run out of room. So, yeah, what this means is like, you know, we can't have a 2 here. Actually, yeah, so maybe that's what we think about now. So like, where would a 2 have to go in this region? It would need to go somewhere here. I'm not going to blame this all on the sickness. Again, I could think about the high numbers in this row. Yeah, really just bouncing around. I feel like I really muddied up. At the beginning, I was sort of attracted to the bottom of the puzzle because of the fact that there's so many thermometers down there, but maybe I should have focused on this row because of how many of its cells are occupied in thermometers. The same thing I could do down here. Yeah, I could think about the fact that in this row, I think a 2 can only go in one of these cells. Now it can also go there. Okay, forget it. So much notation down there. All right, but we need to put an 8 somewhere in this row. I could write in all the numbers and whittle things down, but I think that the sanest thing to do would just be to look at it and to do. So like an 8 can't go here or here. An 8 could go here. That would put the 9 with it. An 8 can go in these cells or here, but it can't go there or there. An 8 needs to go in one of these cells. Then, let's say the 8 was to go on the thermometer. We would have an 8 and a 9. I could then put a 7 here or here. What I'm sort of getting at is I think we're getting towards a situation in which, okay, I started up here with the high numbers. I should have started with the low numbers. Where does the 1 need to go in this region, in this row? The 1 can't go in the middle of the thermometer, middle to the end of the thermometer. The 1 would need to go here. That I just totally missed. Now let's think about where the 2 would need to go. So a 2 needs to go in this row someplace. It can't go in any of these 3 cells because then this would need to be a 1, which creates all sorts of problems. So the 2 needs to go out here or out here. Something like that. Yeah, we have to separate now the digits 2 through 9 into 2 sets of increasing numbers. Either this or this, I think, now needs to be a 1. But I'm 8 minutes into the puzzle. 8 minutes into the puzzle, and I just sort of have muddied up the bottom, and I feel like I could have focused on the top earlier, and I got some stuff out of it, but maybe not enough. So I have to figure out what to do. But I don't know what I will do. Not really. You know, I haven't thought about the Dutch flatmate rule. I spent all my time thinking about the thermometers. And it just hit me that, oh, there's a second rule. The puzzle has a name. We need to put 5s in the cells someplace. A 5 must either have a 1 directly above it or a 9 directly below it. In this region, we know where the 9 is going to go. It's going to go in one of these two, and we know where the 1 is. That means that the 5 must go in one of these 3. I think an interesting consequence of this rule is that you can't have a 1 below the 5. This would create a situation in which you can't have a 9 below the 5, and you can't have a 1 above the 5. So that would break the rule. So now we can think about, I don't know what we can think about. I'm going to need a 5 in this row. See, I'm going to need a 5 in this row, and I'm going to need a 5 in this row. I'm now realizing it's kind of difficult to place the 5s on the thermometer when the thermometer is sort of vertical. So for example, this 5, this cell can't have a 1 above it or a 9 below it, which means that this can't be a 5. You're not allowed to be a 5. It'll be 3, 4, 5, and 6. You cannot have a 1 above you, which means that you cannot be a 5 either. If you were a 5, you would need a 1 above you. If you're a 5, it's possible to have a 1 above you. That's another... Huh. Interesting. I can now think about where the 5s need to go in these two regions. I guess I'm learning about the rules, and then I'm figuring out how to apply the rules. I'm not an expert in thermometers or Dutch flatmates. This is the second puzzle I've ever played with a Dutch flatmate in it. But for example, it wouldn't be possible to put a 5 in any of these cells because of the fact that if the 5 is on the bottom, then the 1 would need to appear directly above it. And it's not possible to put a 1 here. So a 5 can't appear down here. In fact, a 5 can't appear down here by the same reasoning. That means in this row we need a 5, and there's only one location that that 5 can go. The 5 needs to go here, which means the 1 needs to go here. And now I think there's only one way of filling in the bottom of the thermometer, which is 2, 3, 4. This can still be anything, but we just filled in a bunch of this. We have to place the digits. Yeah, we have to place the digits 6, 7, 8, and 9. The minimum that this could possibly be is 6, and I think that's also the maximum it can be because of the thermometer. I think this needs to be a 6, and this needs to be a 7, 8, and 9. And now we only have 3 numbers left in the row, and they need to appear in increasing order, so 2, 4, and 5, and that closes out the row. Now you can't be a 6. Again, I need to think about where to put a 5. Not where to put a 5, but I'm realizing that these 1s can't pair with 5s now. But I could still maybe put a 5 here and a 1 above it. Or I could put a 5 here and then it would just be closed because of the 9. Yeah, there definitely needs to be a 5 in this region. And because of what we know about 5s, that 5 needs to go up here someplace. So one of you must be a 5. If you were a 5, we could have 6, 7, 8, 9. So I could think about that. It's not possible to put a 5 here because I would need to put 6, 7, 8, 9, and these two 9s would conflict. So you're not allowed to be a 5. You're not allowed to be a 5 because you can't have a 9 below you, and you can't have a 1 above you because of how the thermometer works, which means you must be a 5. You must be a 5. Nice. Nice. Made a lot of progress. I didn't even think about closing out this thermometer. This region needs a 1 in it. This thermometer only has 1. Well, we need a number less than 2 for that spot. So there's only 1 number left that is less than 2. So we filled that in. Now what? I need a 4 in this row somewhere. The 4 can't go here and here. Can't go here and here. The 4 needs to appear here someplace. One of you two needs to be a 4. If you were a 4, I would, again, the minimum that this could be is 6, 7, 8, 9. This would cause a contradiction. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're not allowed to be a 4. You must be a 4. And now if you're a 4, we need a number that's less than 4, not equal to 3, or a 2 or 1 here. That needs to be a 3. This can't be a 5. It needs to be a number that's greater than 4, but it can't be a 5 because of the fact that I would need a 1 above the 5. So you're not allowed to be a 5. You could be, you're only allowed to be a 6, 7, or a 9. But you're not allowed to be a 9 because of the fact that we wouldn't be able to close the thermometer. And if you were a 7, then I would have this 8, 9 scenario. So you now need to be a 6. And you need to, the only way to do this is 7, 8 there. Great, so what we've learned about this 5 is that it does not have a 1 on top of it. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. I need to put a 9 in this region someplace. We forgot about that. That 9 needs to go there. Oh, what did I just delete? I don't know what I just deleted. Probably the location of the 5 in this region. So a 5 must either have a 9 below it or a 1 above it. So that 5 could go here and have the 9 below it in the cell, or it could go here and have the 1 above it. But these are our 2 locations for 5s. Okay. Anything more I can do with this row? I need to put a 6 in this row someplace. That 6 must go in one of these 2 cells. I need to put some other numbers, but I don't think we can determine anything about the other numbers and where they go. Cool, but I feel like we made a whole bunch of progress for 18 minutes. Yeah, I really feel, yeah. Yeah, use the beginning of the puzzle to learn a little bit about the rules, and I guess play with the rules, and then that has blossomed into many numbers that are filled in. So what needs to go down here? In this region, we are missing a 2 and a 1 and a 6. That 6 is not allowed to go here, so what needs to go here is a 2. And now you two are not allowed to be 2s. I need a 3 somewhere here. That's another missing number. But now I feel like we filled in more. What else can we do? I need a 7 up in this region. And 7 must go either here or here. So it's not possible for you to be, you're actually pretty constrained. You're not allowed to be a 9 or an 8 or a 7. If you were a 6, that would be 5, 4, 3, 2. But you're not allowed to be a 5 either. You need to be a 6. And I think it's a bit up in the air what you guys are, but now you need to be a 1 and you need to be a 6. So yeah, lots of progress. All right. What do I think about? If this is a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, I guess it's possible for this to be a 1. It's not possible for this to be a 4. I think what that means is it needs to be a 3, this needs to be a 2, and this needs to be a 1. This can either be a 4 or a 5. But we've done a little bit of deduction about those. So this can be a 4 or a 5. The numbers that are missing in this row are the numbers, what numbers can go here are the numbers that are missing in this row. So we need a 4 in the row someplace. We need a 5 in the row someplace. 4 and 5 can both go there. But we also need a 7 and an 8. 7 and 8, these need to be ascending numbers, which means you must be an 8 and you must be a 7. Because 7 and 8 can't go here by thermometer. You're now not allowed to be a 4, so you need to be a 5, and then you need to be our 4. You can now only be 7 and 8. Interesting. You need to be a number that's less than 5, but you can't be any of you. So you need to be a 1. You need to be a 1. And now, I feel like we've made a lot of progress on 1s. Yeah. I need numbers in this column. I don't know why I'm singling out this column as the one to start with. This one has less numbers available, but what am I missing in this? I'm missing a, I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so I need 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You can only be 6 and 9. It's a little muddy. A lot of things can go in those cells. But this is what is going to go in the cells. So that means really what I should have picked out is that a 7 and an 8 need to go here someplace. And there it's kind of constrained. So an 8 can either go here or here. 7 can either go here or here. Yeah, I wish I could apply. I want to apply the flatmate rule somehow. I just don't know how to do it yet. There needs to be a 5 up here. Here's a way I could apply the flatmate rule. There needs to be a 5 up here. It's not allowed to go here because there's a 5 in this column already. It's also not allowed to go here because we would need a 9 below the 5, which means that there must be a 5 here, with a 9 below it someplace. So one of you two must be a 9. One of you two must be a 5. And the fact that, you know, one of you two needs to be a 9 means that you're not allowed to be a 9 anymore. You can be 6 or 9. You can be 6, 7, 8. You can be 6, 7, 9. And you can be 8, 9. So still not tons of clarity, but there needs to be a 5 here. That means this can't be a 5. You need to be a 5. And you cannot. Cool. I need an 8 in this column. Now we're returning to the column. I need an 8 in this column, and that 8 cannot go in any of these cells. It must go here. I need... That's not going to be super helpful. What's up, buddy? Got a kitty here who is meowing. I need a 5 in this column. I need a 5 in this column. That 5 can't go here because these see a 5 in the same region. So one of you two must be a 5. If the 5 was here, then I would need a 9 below the 5. That's allowed. I would actually push a 9 here. It's still allowed. Oh, a second kitty. There are 2 kitties. If I had a 5 here, I couldn't have a 1 above the 5. In fact, I can't have a 1 above the 5. I can't have a 1 in this column anymore. I've got a 1 up here, which means neither of these are allowed to have a 1 above them. One of them must have a 9 below them, and you can't have a 9 below you because you have a 6 below you already. So you must be a 5, and now you must be a 9. And now there's only, oh, I wish there was only something. There's not, oh. All right, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 6, 9, 8, 9. Haven't whittled it down enough. What am I missing in this column? I'm missing a 1, 2, and a 4. So you need to be a 3. That's true. And now I can fill in what goes in these cells, sort of. So what am I missing in this column? I'm definitely missing a 7. I know that. It goes in one of those two. I'm also missing a 3. So there needs to be a 3 in one of these two. In this column, or in the region, I'm missing a 2 and a 4. I'm missing a 2 and a 4. Yep. Yep, yep. So again, maybe I could try to apply the flatmate rule. There needs to be a 5 in one of you two. I don't think it's possible for you to be a 5 by thermometer. If you're a 5, you can't be a 6 or a 7, but you need to be a number greater than 5. You also can't be a 9 because there needs to be a number greater than you. So you'd have to be an 8 and you would have to be a 9, and that would cause a contradiction. So you can't be a 5. You must be a 5. And now we either need a 9 below you or a 1 above you. Cool. But we don't know which one yet. There also needs to be a 5 in this region, and that 5 needs to go either here or here. It's not possible to have a 1 below a 5. Talked about why that was earlier, because the 1, this would then prevent a 1 from going above the 5. So you must be a 5. And now you're on a pretty short thermometer. So the numbers that are less, okay, so now you need to be a 5, and you need to be a 9. Okay. But you're on a pretty short thermometer. So I could do 4, 3, 2. That's allowed. I could do 1, 3, 4. That's allowed. I can't do 1 or 5, 3. I think you need to be a 4. I think you need to be a 4. Just because of something or other. You need to be a 4. Just because it's not possible for there to be a 3, and you can sort of, you know, work it out. What else? What else? Do we have all the 5s? We have all of the 5s. Do they all have their flatmate? I don't really know what the connection is between this and the Dutch. But you need to have a flatmate. It's not possible to put a 1 above you, so we need to put a 9 below you. Now there's only one cell that a 3 can go, and you need to be a 7. I'm missing some numbers up here. I'm missing the numbers 8 and 9. You actually can't be an 8, so you need to be a 9, and now you need to be an 8. Now I'm missing some numbers in here. Those numbers are 6 and 7, and I'm missing one number in this region. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing an 8. That is that. Again, all right, so now this 5 can't have a 9 below it. It needs to have a 1 above it. And we're getting pretty close to figuring out where all of the 5s go and all the 1s go and all the 9s go. At least there needs to be a 1 in this region. It needs to go either here or here, but it can't go in the middle of the thermometer. So you need to be a 1. Now you could either be a 2 or a 3 because of the thermometer, but you're not allowed to be a 2. You need to be a 3. Okay. Okay. I'm missing some numbers in this region. I'm missing a 2. That 2 needs to go here. I'm also missing, maybe I should just add them all. A 6, a 7, and an 8, if I'm right about that. You need to be an 8, and now you two need to be 6 and 7. But that means that you need to be a 9, and now you need to be a 6, you need to be a 7, and you need to be an 8. And now I think we're getting pretty close to filling them, and you need to be a 6, and you need to be a 7. There needs to be a 1 in this region someplace. It needs to go here. There needs to be a 6. There needs to be a 7. I'm missing something in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what I'm missing. I'm missing something in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing a 7. That means you need to be a 3, and you need to be a 7, is what that means. I'm now missing a 4. I'm not missing a 4. What am I missing? A 6 and a 9. The 6 needs to go up here. The 9 needs to go down here. In this row, forget about these rows for a second. I'm missing a 2. That 2 needs to go here. And now I'm missing a 4. Now in this row, I'm missing a 6. In this row, I'm missing a 4. And that is pretty limiting on this solution there. Now I have to fill in some columns with some things. But I think if I just fill in the numbers that go here. So this is 3 needs to go there, and then 4, and then 9. That's the last one. So you're the only one that's allowed to be a 3. You need to be a 2. You need to be a 9, and you need to be a 4. That means you need to be a 4. You need to be a 2. And we are the 275th person to solve this puzzle. I believe that is 11 times 25. It is. I don't know why I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting. Flinty, I enjoyed the puzzle. I hope to do more of your puzzles. I'm sorry that the recording of Dutch Flatmates 3 didn't really work out, but yeah, the Dutch flatmate rule is cool. Let me know the connection to the Netherlands, the Dutch people. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'll see you later.